Hey, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining. Today I want to discuss more about the future of Dodge. Specifically, I want to talk about the new Dodge Hornet and what this means for the future of Dodge. In 2023, that will be the last year for the Dodge V8 muscle car, including the Charger and the Challenger. And we don't know what Dodge has in store after the 2023 model year. We've seen the Banshee, the Charger Banshee SRT electric muscle car, and the Durango, we assume, will still be in production. But other than that, what are they going to make? Well, the Dodge Hornet is announced that it will begin production and begin selling at the end of 2022 as a 2023 model. So what is the Dodge Hornet? First of all, where did the Hornet name come from? Let's go back a little. This will be a really quick history of the Hornet name. In the early 50s, Hudson Hornet was a car that was available, and it was actually a high-performance car, and it actually dominated in stock car racing in the early 50s. So that was the Hudson Hornet. In 1954, Hudson and the Nash Motor Car Company merged and became American Motors. So American Motors now owned the Hornet name. And in the 1970s, American Motors had the AMC Hornet. So that's when the Hornet name was used again. In the late 80s, Chrysler bought AMC, American Motors. So now Chrysler owns the Hornet name. And now in 2023 model year, coming out in the end of 2022, will be the Dodge Hornet. So what is the Dodge Hornet? It's actually not a Dodge. It's an Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo is one of the car brands under the Stellantis umbrella. Of course, as we've discussed previously, Dodge and Jeep and Chrysler are part of the Stellantis conglomerate, which is a European car conglomerate, which includes Dodge and Chrysler and Jeep and Alfa Romeo and Fiat. Well, the Dodge Hornet is actually an Alfa Romeo Tonale, and that is also coming out around the same time. Now, the Tonale, it's a very interesting car, as is the Dodge Hornet. It's in the subcompact SUV car segment, and that is probably most familiar to you as the Honda CR-V or the Toyota RAV4. It's a compact SUV, and that's the segment that they'll be competing in. Now, it's really kind of a boring segment. They're kind of economy SUVs, economy cars. They're not that good looking. They don't perform well. Well, that's where Dodge is going to differentiate. Dodge is going to have 2 or 3 different levels of this Dodge Hornet, and they're going to be basically performance compact SUVs. And again, same with the Alfa Romeo Tonale. By the way, I just want to say something. Alfa Romeo Tonale, they were bringing this car to market, and it was going to be in the sub $40,000 range. I think they're starting around $38,000. And when Stellantis told Alfa Romeo that, hey, we're also going to use the Tonale as a Dodge Hornet, they were not happy, because the Dodge Hornet is probably going to be priced about $10,000 less. That's going to be just under $30,000 for the starting level of the Dodge Hornet. So I'm sure Alfa's not very happy. But again, this is something that's happened in the past. Different brands under the same umbrella have shared a platform, and they make minor changes. For example, the Dodge looks different from the Tonale in that a lot of the sheet metal is different. The interior is different as well. What is the same, basically, are the power plants that are powering these 2 cars. The Alfa Romeo Tonale and the Dodge Hornet are going to be powered by a couple of different powertrains. One is a 1.3-liter turbo 4-cylinder mated with an electric motor, so it'll basically be a PHEV, known as a plug-in hybrid vehicle, and you'll be able to plug it in and run solely on electric for, I think, up to 30 miles, and then the gas engine will kick in, or you can have them both running at the same time. Now, what's amazing, as small as that engine is, 1.3 liter, because it's mated with an electric motor, it has 272 horsepower, which is pretty fast. Pretty high horsepower for a little subcompact SUV. And the 0 to 60 time is like 6 seconds. So it's quick. It's quick for that kind of a car. And the Dodge, same thing. It's got the same motor. For some reason, though, it's got a little bit of a bump in horsepower from the Tonale. The Tonale has 256 horsepower, and the 1.3 liter Hornet has 272. So they've done something. They've done some tweaks to the engine to make it a little more powerful. It's also going to have, the Hornet's going to have a lot of handling packages, and at least one of the models, there's going to be a GT, there's going to be an RT model, and again, the GT model is going to have that plug-in hybrid capability. It's going to have the 1.3 liter turbocharged engine, and the RT is going to have a 2 liter 4-cylinder turbo engine with no electric. That is not a hybrid. And it's got 256 horsepower, so it's funny, it's got less horsepower, but of course it's only the engine by itself, not mated with an electric as a hybrid. So that's very interesting. Another interesting thing is that, again, the Hornet and the Tonale cousin is the 1.3 liter hybrid has a 6-speed automatic transmission, and the 2 liter turbocharged non-hybrid has a 9-speed automatic transmission. So very interesting. It'll be interesting to see the difference in performance feel between the two cars. But again, in this segment, in this or rather the compact SUV segment, this is going to be a fun car to own. Also, I've seen some of the early handling figures on this, and it's going to handle great. It's going to have great braking, Brembo front brakes in at least one of the models. And another thing that they've talked about, in addition to the GT model of the Hornet and the RT, they're talking about a GLH model, a GT GLH. And for those of you who remember in the 1980s, the Omni GLH, which was kind of a Shelby car, the GLH stands for Goes Like Hell. And there will be supposedly a Dodge Hornet GT GLH. So we'll see how that pans out, and that'll be a fun car. In any event, interesting that Dodge is trying to break into this segment. It's a very, very popular segment. The compact SUV segment is one that has grown tremendously because it's not, a car for some people that's too big, because for some people a regular SUV is too big. This is, the compact SUVs are smaller, but at the same time, they've got a lot of room and a lot of utility. So people really like this segment. I think Dodge is making a really smart move breaking into this segment. And hopefully, it will bring people into Dodge that will then buy some of the hopefully in the future, the performance, the high performance Dodge cars. And again, we've talked about this before. We don't know what's going to happen to Dodge after the 2023 model year. But even though they've said that there'll be no more V8 Chargers and Challengers, Dodge, or rather Stellantis, just announced that they're going to be moving the production of the Chargers and Challengers from the Brampton, Ontario factory, because they're going to use that for, I believe, electrics, and they're going to move production to Windsor. Now, they wouldn't be making that announcement if they weren't planning on having some form of Charger and Challenger in the future. So I'm not sure what this means. Are they going to continue with the present body style of the Charger and Challenger alongside the Banshee electric? If they do, it's not going to be a V8. They've already said that that's the end of it. But are they going to use the straight six, the new Hurricane engine, which is a turbocharged straight six engine with a lot of horsepower, actually? So I suppose that's a possibility. It better be, because right now, after the 2023 model year, we know they'll still be making Durangos. We know they'll be making this new Hornet. But what else are they going to have? I don't know. So hopefully, they say they're going to have the electric Charger. Hopefully, they'll still have maybe a gas Charger and Challenger in the form of the new Hurricane Turbo 6 engine. we'll have to wait and see what happens. Okay, so we've talked about the Hornet and its background, its history, and what it actually is, an Alfa Romeo Tonale. So bottom line, it is not a Dodge really. It's basically an Alfa Romeo that Dodge has taken and kind of customized and spiced up a little. So that's it. It's not really a Dodge. Is it a good car? Yes. I think it's an excellent car. I think it's a fun car. And actually, if you think about it, you're getting a more expensive Alfa Romeo for less money with the Dodge brand on it. So, I mean, that's a good thing. And of course, it will be serviced by Dodge dealers, and it will have all the Dodge parts. You won't have to go to Alfa to get the parts. They'll have them right at Dodge, and probably cheaper too, even though they're the same parts. So bottom line, it's a great car. I think it'll do very well. If we're looking for that kind of car in the future, then we would definitely consider the Dodge Hornet. So that's it. Thanks again for tuning in today. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe. There are certain content creator tools that aren't available unless I have a certain amount of subscribers. So please subscribe. That will help me in the future. And also like this video and hit the notification bell. That helps as well. See you next time. Take care.